found August 31st, 1888 at 3:30 a.m. in Bucks Row, Whitechapel.
Annie Chapman, found on the 8th of September 1888 at 6 a.m. in the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street.
Elizabeth Stride, found September 30th, 1888 at 1 a.m. in Burner Street off Commercial Road.
Catherine Eddowes, discovered in Meter Square in the City of London on the 30th of September 1888 at 1:45 a.m.
Mary Jane Kelly, found at 10:45 a.m. on November 9th, 1888, in my room. 13 Miller's Court, Dorset Street, Spitalfields.
Alice Mackenzie, found on July 17th, 1889, in Castle Alley off Whitechapel High Street, time unknown.
You may know our murders. You may know our killer.
But do you know our story?
do this. It's just been too long.
I know. Oh, you could say I've been dying for it.
Yeah, it's lovely to visit old
Oh,
haunts.
stop it. Okay, girls, come on. You would have thought those jokes would have got old after over 100 years. We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, like taking down patriarchy.
Yeah, I meant just catching up, but now that you mention it.
I mean, like, women, I can't believe that women get the same raw deal we did back then.
Still second-class citizens.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much that we can do, but still, we get scared. I mean, we get told what to do, how to act, even what to wear.
But I think we were a bit ahead of our time. I mean, we were strong, independent women. We had our own stories. We tried not let men get in the way.
But I don't think everyone else knows that. We may be some of those most famous women in history.
Move over, Henry Six Wives.
But as far as everyone else is concerned, we were down and out women on the street. And you know, there may be a way that we can change that. There has been so much that has been gossiped, written, told about us. Perhaps it's time we reclaimed our glory.
Revolting and mysterious murder of a woman in Bucks Road, Whitechapel.
Whitechapel Black Record.
East London mystery.
I am Edward Walker. I live at 15 Maidwell Street, Albany Road, Camberwell. I have seen the body, and to the best of my belief, it is my daughter. I have not seen her for 3 years.
Well, whose fault was that? I needed help. I tried.
My daughter's name was Mary Ann Nichols. She was married to William Nichols. They had been living apart about 7 or 8 years.
Was she a sober woman?
Oh, here we go.
Well, at times she drank, and that was why we did not agree.
Was she fast?
No, I never heard of anything of the sort. She used to go with some young women and men that she knew, but I never heard of anything improper.
Fast? Improper? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's such a double standard. Men can do what they like. That bloody husband of mine carrying on. But us women? No, we're just fallen women. Oh, here he is. Great.
William Nichols, Coburg Road, Old Kent Road. Polly was at the workhouse. I was someone to pay her maintenance. But I knew she'd live with another man. I had to watch.
Can you believe it? The bastard!
I did not leave my wife. She had no occasion for doing so. If it had not been for her drinking habits, we would have gotten all right together.
Oh, would we have? Plain happy families whilst you were carrying on with a widow next door! Okay then.
Emily Holland, 18 Thrall Street. Polly stayed at my lodgings previously, but I've not seen her for about 10 days. She was walking down Osborne Street, Whitechapel Road, and she was alone. Very much the worse for drink. You know, Polly said to me,
I can't return to my other room as I can't pay for my other lodgings.
oh dear, well come inside, love, let's see what we can do.
No, it's all right. I've already earned my lodging money 3 times today.
She walked off. It looked like she was weighed down by some trouble. She said she would soon be back.
Well, I wouldn't soon be back, would I?
What was troubling you?
Well, what do you think? My husband was carrying off with some other woman. I couldn't say that, not even for my kids. And now I know you may think this is selfish, but what about me? My feelings, I'm just supposed to put up with it. The investigation into my death painted me as an immoral bad character, that I actually deserved my fate. But I was just heartbroken.
Well, on that note, are you ready for a good night, girls?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that. I said, are you ready for a good night, girls?
Yeah!
That's better. Well, we got a lot of good acts for you tonight. But first up, the most rocking chick in London town, Polly Ann Nichols, singing Fallen Woman!
Growing up on the street of it, I've read your words, don't care what you think. Oh, you don't know me. Just because I left my husband, you think my whole life is just done. Oh, you don't know me. Do you care for me at all, or will you watch me as I fall? I am not the pain that I won't finish. I am not the prince that it can wait. I am not the one you can cast aside when you are stronger than me. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. I am not the pain that I won't finish. I am not the prince that it can wait. I am not someone you can cast aside when you are stronger than me. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. If you saw me stumble, if you saw me fall, would you be there for me at all? Or would you not give me a second glance? If I tried to get away, would I live no, I am not the pain that you're finished with. I am not the prince that it can wait. I am not someone that you can cast aside. I will live on stronger than you, stronger than you. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. I am not your fallen woman. You don't know. You don't know. I am not your fallen
Wow, I wish I could be as strong as you, Polly. It's just, I don't know what to do. I feel stuck, like I'm in no man's land.
Another murder at the East End.
Horrors part upon horrors! Get the record of the week!
Crime is darkest crime that was ever committed.
At the Working Lads Institute, Whitechapel Road, yesterday morning, on the 10th of September, an inquiry was opened into the circumstances attending the death of Annie Chapman, a widow whose body was found horribly mutilated in the backyard of 29 Hambridge Street, Spitalfields.
I can't move on. My family never accepted me.
But you had people around that supported you. Friends, like Amelia Palmer.
Amelia used to see Annie around the streets of Spitalfields. She felt sorry for her and for the life that she was now leading.
Her husband died a year or so ago. Her other daughter died. Her other children were taken away. Drink had overtaken her life.
Oh no, what's happened to your head? How did you get that?
Yeah, look at this. Do you know the girl that did it? Eliza Cooper.
Oh, you know, you look very pale. Have you had anything to eat today yet?
No, I've not had a cup of tea today.
Here, take this. And don't go spending it on any rum. I know what you like.
There's no use giving way. I must pull myself together, earn some money. I'll have no lodgings. Small gesture makes me feel I'm not so alone. I keep moving, working, trying to earn my keep. I do crochet work and I sell flowers. I also have 2 clients, but I've only seen them a couple of times. When it gets difficult, it's not like I'm out there on the streets. I'm respectable. Well, I was respectable. A husband, children, a respectable life. When I'm sober, I'm hard-working. But when I'm drunk, well, it's like it's a completely different person. It's not like it even takes me much. I can't help it. Everything seems to give way since my husband died. And then my children were taken from me. And well, my family, we're not on good terms. It's just me. And now, Annie Chapman sing a song about loneliness and despair. No Man's Land.
Like a captain without soldiers, like a man without his wife. Here I stand in this no man's land without a purpose. for this I have no doubt. I'm in no man's land. I'm in no man's land. I'm in no man's land without you.
You know, you might think you're alone, that you ended up this way, but look around you. Look at us. We're all in the same boat. I think there's room for a few more girls in that island of yours. Don't you think?
Yeah, and I mean it is no man's land. Do you get it? It's like no men.
I got it.
Thanks. It does feel good that we have each other. We've all gone through the same, haven't we?
Dear me, 3 songs in and we're already getting sad and depressed. Don't we leave that until the end of the night? Until we're all a bit worse for wear?
I can't help it. It's how I feel. My life was a mess.
How wonderful. And we get to hear about it, do we? All our life stories. Whatever happened to a bit of mystery?
Liz, don't know if you've been listening, but it's kind of the whole point of us being here to tell our stories the way we want.
You know, yeah, we're here to spill our guts.
Too soon.
Yes, to spill our real life stories. Not the usual, oh, they were ladies of the night. They deserve their fate. What about you, eh?
What secrets are you hiding?
I want to keep people guessing. I don't want everybody knowing who I really am.
More Whitechapel horrors!
Burner Street victim! When will the murderer be captured? The body has not yet been identified.
No, not yet.
I don't quite understand. I thought an inquest had been opened on the body of one Elizabeth Stride.
That was a mistake. Something is known of the deceased, but she's not yet been fully identified. It'd be better at present to describe her as a woman unknown. She's been partially identified.
Mary Malcolm. I live at number 50 Eagle Street, Red Lion Square, Holborn, and I am married. I'm sure that the body is of my sister, Elizabeth Watts. She never mentioned the name Stride to me. If she had been living with anyone with that name, she would have told me. She married a man, Edward Watts of Bath, but they broke up about 8 years ago. He caught her with a porter. Yeah, I'm sure this is her, without a shadow of a doubt. Elizabeth Tanner. I'm deputy of a common lodging house on Clarendon Street. Elizabeth was known as Long Liz. She was Swedish. She was married. Husband and children drowned in the ship Princess Alice. Yes, I'm quite sure this is her. There's an injury in her mouth that she told me she received when the Princess Alice went down. I never heard of a sister from Red Lion Square. Sven Olsen! I am the clerk of the Swedish church, St. George's in the East. I have known the deceased for 17 years. Her name was Elizabeth Stride. She was married to John Thomas Stride, a carpenter. I remember that there was a subscription raised by the relatives of the sufferers by the Princess Alice. However, no mention of the name Stride made any application. If her story had been true, do you not think she would have applied?
What can I say? I didn't want people to know the real me. Why should they? No one cared. I was left alone because people felt sorry for me, with my husband and children perishing at sea.
But is any of it true? Who are you?
Nobody knows. And you won't find out either.
And now it's the International Woman of Mystery, Elizabeth Stride, with Enigma.
Blessed be thy loving Father, hallowed be thy name. That's what
seem to be a bit mysterious.
Oh, you would!
The mysterious woman. Very true, I mean.
Okay, well, maybe it is a good thing that we get to reveal a little bit about ourselves.
Girls, why do you keep interrupting me? I don't know what you mean. You know, it's not all about you lot. You have me as well.
Didn't you hear the opening song? Polly Ann Nichols,
Annie Chapman, Mary Jane Kelly, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes. Let's tell you how it goes.
That's not my problem, is it? I think we need to take it with the writer. Excuse me, creative team. I need a word with you. Nothing? Okay.
Well, it's not just their fault. We are the canonical famous five.
Yeah, like the Spice Girls!
Oh, well, definitely, baby.
Just because I'm short. Not fair! What's not fair? Is you don't think I'm important enough? I'm not your backup singer. What happened to girl power? There were other victims that were thought to be the work of Jack. Like myself. Alice Mackenzie.
And now, a song of power, cleverness, and strength. It's about
Stop, jump and roll, 'cause these girls are on fire. Better jump on board, 'cause we want to go higher. All this competition, who's that, who is she? We've got to stick together, you best believe. It's about time we stop the war. It's about time we gave it one for. It's already enough that the world's against us. Sing it together now that it exists. What do we see? That ain't it, sis. What do we see? That ain't it, sis. All we get is look at that famous five. You pit us girls together if we're dead or alive. Doesn't matter if we're 5 or 3 or 8. We've got to show the world we can step up to the plate. It's about time we stop the war. It's about time we gave it one for. It's already enough that the world's against us. Sing it together now that it exists. What do we see? That ain't it, sis. What do we see? That ain't it, sis. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Who would have thought it would end up in such bloody slaughter? Can't you see that all this fighting is just what they want? Read the headlines in the morning, girls with too much confidence. It's about time we stop the war. It's about time we gave it one for. It's already enough that the world's against us. Sing it together now that it exists. What do we see? That ain't it, sis. What do we see? That ain't it, sis.
All right. Go on then. It's about time you told us your story.
Okay. Here goes. I lived with a man, John McCormack. He was good to me. I worked as a washerwoman and he was a porter. We still struggled for money though. I suppose it was down to the fact I sometimes skipped work and went to the pub. It was only 2 doors down from where we lived, so could you blame me? He was good to me, because he knew. He knew, and he still stuck by my side. Even though I knew he was beginning to worry about our future. I lived honestly though. I never got money from the streets. I regret the last conversation myself and John had. It was my fault.
Alice, where have you been?
Work.
I don't care. I can smell it on your breath. We cannot afford it.
I've told you, I've been at work. Didn't make any money. Nothing to be done.
What am I to do? Am I to go and walk the streets?
You know I don't do that. Or would you have me do that as well?
I stormed out. I couldn't even look at him. Well, we all know how that goes, don't we? Holly!
What do you want?
I heard a rumour that there were other victims before you. Some might say that Martha Tabram was Jack's first victim. Not you.
Oh yeah? Well, we'll see about that. How would you like to be my first victim? If you want, you drunken old tart!
Watch it, Girls! Please, come on. We just had you banging on about empowerment and sticking together. And here you two are about to start brawling in the pub. Not exactly showing us in the right light, are we?
Yeah, I mean, come on. We're ladies.
I don't believe you.
Welcome to Whitechapel School for Ladies. As you can see, we have the finest ladies of the highest class view this evening to show you how a proper female must conduct herself. Number 1. One should never approach people of a higher rank unless being introduced by mutual friends.
Alright, Queen Vic, how's it going? As bad as drinking ya.
Number 2. A single woman should never address a gentleman without a proper introduction. Hello, mister! Penny for your thoughts this evening! Number 3. A single woman should never walk out alone.
Well, we clearly didn't follow that rule. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this mess, would we?
Number 4. No impure conversations were held in front of single women.
Hello, darling. Looking for a bit of fun tonight, are we?
Number 5. Innocence was demanded by girls in a gentleman's class, and most especially by his future wife.
Number 6. Intelligence was not encouraged, nor was any interest in politics.
Now, I really would like to talk to you all about women's rights and how important it is for us to stand up for ourselves.
Okay. Thank you to the elegance, high class ladies of Whitechapel. I said high class. Oh, that's better. Thank you. Right. Now aren't we all a little bit sick and tired of talking about ourselves yet?
Excuse me?
Like, I get it, we're talking about our history and how amazing we all are, which, believe me, we all are. But we're missing a vital part of the story, and that, unfortunately, involves a man.
Oh, Catherine, did you not read the script? It's about time the women told the story. It's about time the women got the glory. It's pretty important. It's the show's tagline. I swear, some of ya don't get the whole point of this show.
Yeah, but you don't get it. To talk about our history, we have to talk about Jack. What he did to us. Why can't we own what happened to us? How we were found. That's important. That's a part of our story.
It's about time the women told the story. It's about time the women told the story. It's about time the women told the story. It's about time the women told the story. It's about time the women told the story.
knees. Passers-by didn't know whether I was dead or whether I was drunk. I'd only been dead 30 minutes before I was found.
Witnesses heard me say, no, no, before I fell against fences dividing the backyards of Hanbury Street. I suffered wounds to my throat and my stomach. A knife of similar size and design was used in both mine and Polly's murders.
I was found with a single knife wound inflicted to my neck. It is said I was killed shortly before a porter from the nearby working men's club discovered me. I was said to be seen earlier in the evening opposite the club with a man. I was heard to be saying, no, not tonight, some other night.
I felt arrested and someone came home drunk in company of a man. I told her I'm gonna have a soul. I suffered the most injuries. Told you I'm a victim. Most likely because there was more time to commit the atrocities in my private room. A great fire was fueled by women's clothing. My clothing. The murderer is using to provide more light.
Like Annie, I was found with knife wounds on my throat and stomach. Like Polly, my skirt was above my knees. My murder spelt the return of the Ripper of an absence on the streets of some 9 months.
You know, I could tell you all about how I grew up. How much I moved around, who I shacked up with, but in my line of work, that doesn't bring in the money. You see, I'm a ballad singer. And people don't pay to hear how you couldn't keep the house. They pay for murder. Our murder. You know, with those pretty little stories you just told, I could make quite a few pennies on the street. Enough to keep us going another round. Come on, ladies, what will it be? 1.2 pound. You know, perhaps we shouldn't. I don't want to get so drunk like I did that night. I was picked up by the bobbies after being found laying in a heap on the pavement. At 8:45, I was taken to Bishopsgate police station. And at 1 a.m, I was found to be sober. And they just released me. Just 45 minutes later, I was found dead.
Jack the Ripper claims another victim.
Woman brutally hacked to death!
Ghastly murder!
Hello, Mr. Policeman. What time is it?
Too late for you to be getting anything to drink.
Oh, I should get a fine damn hiding when I get back home.
And serve you right. You had no right to go out and get drunk. Which way home, missus?
This way. Good night, Mr. Policeman. And now it's time to dust off those sequins and dance the tears away. Because here's Catherine Eddowes, the disco diva herself, with the ballad of Kate and Jack.
God rescue merry gentlemen, come hear about my tale. It's for a cruel murder, yes, it's me you'll hear me say. Horrified that he has done is shocking for to hear. He murdered me in the moonlight when I'd nothing to fear.
No offence, ladies, was far more exciting than some of yours. In fact, it could have been a movie.
Mary Jane Kelly in
Marie Jeanette.
Mary Jane Kelly was known for her personal attractive appearance. For the standard at the time, she was born in Limerick, Ireland, and moved to Wales with her family.
Marie Jeanette.
She then moved to London in search of a better life. There, she became acquainted with a young French woman who introduced her to work in a high-class brothel in the more affluent West End.
Marie Jeanette! She became one of the most popular girls, spending earnings on expensive jewellery and even a carriage. A client of hers invited to move to France, but she moved back to England because she just liked her life there. And from that point on, she adopted the name Marie Jeanette!
Hang on, you're saying you live this glamorous life like in the movies. How did you end up here with the rest of us unfortunates?
Well, you see, life treated me badly. I escaped and moved back to London. And from there, I had to hide. I had the money because the loss of wages of me leaving, both in London and Paris.
Where did you go?
I moved to various lodging houses. Met a man who I started living with, Joseph. It was good. Until he lost his job, stealing. I was taking prostitution again. That's when it went bad. Me and Joseph quarrelled. He didn't like the fact just asking women in the night to stay with us. I just couldn't bear to see him living on the streets. You know what else I can't bear? He gets away with it. All this. Jack didn't get to face the wrath of the women he has wronged. I wasn't even able to put up a fight. I wish I could have stared into his eyes instead of being that faceless coward you would know him as. I wish I could have dragged him with me as I took my last breath. I wish I could have dragged him down to hell. I was known to have a bit of a temper. Quarrelsome. Abusive. It earned me the nickname Dark Mary. And now, I show you what dark I can be.
It's the Lady of Darkness, the Hellraiser herself. It's Mary Jane Kelly with Follow You Down.
Now
police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet.
I've laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track.
I am down on whores, and I shan't stop ripping them until I am buckled.
Grand work the last job was. I left the lady no time to squeal.
How can they catch me now?
Oh, I love my work and want to start again.
From hell, Jack the Ripper. Dear Jack, you coward, you with your funny little games.
You saved our blood and used our blood as ink in your letters.
You sent body parts to the police as trophies.
Trophies? Trophies for what? Your spiritless, spineless crimes against us.
You may think you live on.
But do you really?
Nobody knows who you are. You are nothing. We live on.
Beside you in hell, Polly Ann Nichols.
Annie Chapman.
Elizabeth Stride.
Alice Mackenzie.
Catherine Eddowes.
Mary Jane Kelly.
Why don't you jack it up and look at us now? Much more to us than meets the eye, and it's nearly time for us to say bye-bye. All this commotion,
actually, if we were living in the world right now, things would be a lot different for us right now than they were for us back then.
I'd be a newspaper editor. I grew up around newspapers and printing. It really fascinated me. I'd show those big fat cats who are boss. Why is it always men at the top? Maybe things aren't different after all.
A good wife, a good mother. I know that sounds so simple, but it's all I want. Chance to do over. Probably not exciting enough, but it is for me. So all I want is to be surrounded by love, companionship, family. But I know I have that now, because you girls, you're my family.
You know, I've never really thought about it. But I guess I'm pretty good at being a woman of mystery.
Don't we know it?
Perhaps I could have worked for the government? A spy? Something quite badass about that, isn't there? Just call me Stride. Elizabeth Stride.
Hey! Lady Gaga!
Beyonce!
I would want to be a performer. You know, sell out arenas, sell out records. I just want people to, know my music. Even just getting the chance to perform would just be a dream of mine. Oh wait, we're doing that right now, aren't we?
I want to be a movie star. Act in lots of films, win a Grammy, make lots of money. You know, the usual. Maybe I can move back to Paris. Oh, I could star on one of those arty European films. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
You know what I'd do?
What?
I'd continue the fight for women's rights. What happened to us is still happening today. Of course, it's much better, but we've got to keep kicking up a stink. Letting them know we're here. We won't be pushed around or silenced. What do we say, girls?
That ain't it, sis!
Well, we're here, girls. We've made it. We've been through a lot.
Yeah, we've told our stories, what we're really about.
Not just our murders.
Yeah, all how the newspapers portrayed us as.
But our lives, our tales,
Our whole glory.
And now, it's the women of
with a final song of
Reflection.
Empowerment and hope.
Here